Hey guys, Rohan from TechieTechTech back after a long time with a new video. So I've been using the OnePlus 9 Pro as my on and off daily driver ever since it launched, and my experience has been somewhat of a roller coaster ride. Ups and downs and ups and downs. Join me as we talk about my long term experience with the OnePlus 9 Pro and whether you should buy one now or just skip it altogether. Here we go. One thing about the OnePlus 9 Pro that absolutely grew on me is the design and the physical outline. There's a curved pane of glass on the front and back and a thin aluminium rail in the middle. It feels really good in the hand. It's still a very large phone, but the size, the width is still just right for a large phone. For context, I've been using the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the S21 Ultra alongside this phone, and let me tell you, this one is hands down the most comfortable to hold out of all these three phones. But when you move on from the physical dimensions and focus on the core design elements, there honestly isn't much to be excited about. It's a generic good looking phone with some good simple features like a mute slider, clicky buttons, and that's about it. On the back, there's the OnePlus logo in the middle and a camera island on the top left. Frankly, this is the exact same design language followed by every OnePlus phone this year, from the Nord 2 to the entire 9 series. So you might be able to understand why I'm not overly excited about it. I honestly still feel that the blue OnePlus 8 Pro that I used last year was a much better looking phone. But what's definitely better from that OnePlus 8 Pro last year on this newer OnePlus 9 Pro is the display panel. If you remember, the OnePlus 8 Pro had a massive controversy last year with a large number of OnePlus 8 Pro users reporting a variety of different display related issues. Well, I tested the OnePlus 9 Pro thoroughly and I'm yet to see any issues in the display. It's a gorgeous panel with crispy details, vivid colors, and a larger than life saturation. It's honestly one of the best looking smartphone displays I've ever used. The only caveat on the display side is that it is still curved, which can showcase some occasional accidental touches and some unintentional glare. It's not the end of the world, but still something that could bother many potential users. What wouldn't bother potential users though is the performance. This phone is just crazy fast. No matter what task you throw at it, it just breezes through it. In general usage, with your daily dose of social media apps, some web browsing, some texting, you will not notice a single dropped frame or even the tiniest hint of lag. Even when you switch it up and do more intense tasks like gaming or video conferencing, the OnePlus 9 Pro will provide you the best performance of basically any Android phone in the market today. The flagship Snapdragon 888 CPU ensures that every possible operation runs as smoothly as it possibly can. However, one downside to this flagship CPU is heat. The OnePlus 9 Pro is definitely the most overheating smartphone I have used in the past couple of years. It almost reminds me of the Exynos 990 CPU in the Samsung S20 series last year. In my usage, the OnePlus 9 Pro had multiple instances of getting very warm and then staying that way until you just stop using it and put it down. This heat does depend upon your usage pattern, but it is very easy to reproduce, especially while using the camera. Now, even with all this heating, I've yet to see the OnePlus 9 Pro throttle. However, if you are buying this phone for long gaming hours or for continuous GPS usage or for shooting a lot of long videos, maybe look at another phone with a better cooling system. And now for a quick word about the software. This phone runs on Oxygen OS 11, which is a skin based on Android 11. The software is extremely clean and free of all bloatware. However, I did encounter a few minor bugs from time to time. The most annoying one was a bug which simply froze the screen as soon as a call came in and only unfroze when the call timed out. Also, even though I love the entire clean and minimal Oxygen OS experience, Its future is a bit uncertain, with OnePlus and their parent company Oppo planning to merge ColorOS and OxygenOS. Now this could be a problem because Oppo's ColorOS is not nearly as smooth or light as OxygenOS. But let's hope that the clean and fast nature of OxygenOS that we all love does not change post this merger. Moving on, let's talk about the cameras. Right after the launch, the OnePlus 9 Pro's camera had some issues regarding overheating and OnePlus not really delivering on their promise of a flagship smartphone camera experience. OnePlus has pushed many software patches since then. Let's find out how it performs a few months down the line. Before we begin with the actual camera review, let's revisit the specifications. It sports a 48MP f1.8 primary camera, an all-new 50MP f2.2 ultra-wide camera, an 8MP f2.4 telephoto camera with 3.3x optical zoom, and a 2MP monochrome camera. This year, in order to take their cameras to the next level, OnePlus partnered up with Hasselblad, a leading medium format camera manufacturer. Now, let's talk about real-world testing and results. The primary camera performance has seen improvements, especially in the noise processing, white balance and details department. The pictures look cleaner and are well saturated in different lighting conditions. Both the ultra-wide and primary camera deliver stills that have better highlight retention and skin tones. The fringing issues on the ultra-wide and telephoto cameras have also been fixed along with the overprocessing and over-sharpening problems. The pictures look rich with decent contrast levels. Please note that some of the overheating and laggy UI bugs still come up from time to time, but they do not interfere with the end results. In terms of video, the OnePlus 9 Pro can shoot in 4K up to 120fps and in 8K at 30fps with ultra-wide and primary camera support. On the flip side, the front camera tops in Full HD at 60fps. The overall video quality has also improved, especially in terms of stabilization and noise processing. The videos shot with the OnePlus 9 Pro do not look janky. In fact, they look sharp and better than before. To conclude, the OnePlus 9 Pro has a really good camera. If you're a casual user who loves shooting pictures and videos for fun or social media, the OnePlus 9 Pro would be a good choice. It shoots cleaner pictures and even has support for macro mode. Now, from a camera enthusiast perspective, there's no doubt that the hardware on the OnePlus 9 Pro is top notch. The only thing holding it back is the software limitations. Let's hope that OnePlus manages to fix those in the future updates like it did with the initial bugs. If that happens, then we could finally see a true OnePlus flagship phone that could take on the giants like the Galaxy S21 and the iPhone 12 in the camera department. The biggest weakness of this phone, according to me, is its battery life. It's simply not adequate. I get around 4 to maybe 5 hours of screen on time on a single full charge, which is doable but definitely not a flagship level statistic. To add insult to injury, the standby battery drain on this phone is also on the higher side, which meant that I often found myself hunting for the charger twice in a single day. What maybe makes up for it partially is the inclusion of insanely fast Warp Charge 65. Whether you charge this phone with OnePlus's inbox adapter or a separately purchased OnePlus Warp wireless charger, you can get enough juice to last many hours in just a few minutes of charging. It is simply insane to see this phone charge this fast. Warp charging is the one feature that I truly miss when I switch from a OnePlus phone to a non-OnePlus smartphone. The phone call experience on this phone has been great. The sound quality on both the earpiece and the loudspeaker is a notable improvement over its predecessor. It's also great at finding a signal and holding on to it. Even the Wi-Fi antennas on this phone outperform many similar smartphones. And now for a couple of random highlights. The in-display fingerprint sensor is quick, accurate and fast, but it is positioned a bit too low for my liking, but you will get used to it over time. The stereo speakers are also great with crisp and clear audio quality, a notable improvement over the speakers on the OnePlus 8 Pro. To conclude, the OnePlus 9 Pro has been a great phone to use. I've loved my time using it and I would be recommending this phone to everyone were it not for a few annoying issues like the overheating and the bad battery life. If you're looking to buy a clean software, easy to use Android flagship phone, the OnePlus 9 Pro would still be a good option. However, if you are a hardcore performance intensive user or you're on the road a lot, maybe other phones with less overheating and better battery endurance would be more your speed. Until then, this has been Rohan from TechieTechTech. Please subscribe to the channel if you like this video and please share it if you want to help us out. Until then, have a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.